Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're looking at My Hero Academia chapter number 86, Before the Storm. The chapter in essence is a really good setup chapter. It really sets up the next clash, the next arc, the retrieval arc, the going for revenge arc, whatever you want to call it. And it basically sets the wheels in motion just for everything to begin, but it also sets them up for a potential fail. I'll get into it. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So there's four main locations or kind of concepts where part of this manga chapter kind of goes through as a story. So we'll break it down in those locations and we'll use that. So start off with point number one. Point number one is the media scrum. So effectively, media day happens. There's a lot of media and political pressure on the Hero Association, the Hero School, and they're asking the questions about, why did you let this happen? Them kind of things. To his defense, even though Aizawa is not known for being one of the people that likes the PR sort of thing, he does a really good job making a point. And there's that one guy that just needs a slap, and he asks the most retarded questions, and Aizawa just does perfectly in answering him. He's like, don't you think the worst possible solution was then the people got injured? And he goes, no, the worst possible solution is one of them got murdered. And that should murk that guy, because that's pretty much what the worst case scenario is if the kids had died, right? That didn't happen, okay, it was not the second to last of the worst options, but the main thing is he did what he had to do in that situation, and that just shut him up. And then they tried turning it on Bakugo, like, oh, he's an explosive dude, he's a bit unstable, he's going to become a bad guy. And he goes, look, at the end of the day, that's just how strong his ideals are to become number one. And I thought, you know what, mate, you tell him. Because the last thing you want is them to be putting someone down and making him out to be the bad guy. Because at the end of the day, if they make him out to be a bad guy, he can easily just be a bad guy. But he's obviously not that kind of guy. That's how he expresses himself. He's very driven, very headstrong, and basically he wants to be number one. And that, for me, I thought, Aizawa Sensei, respect. Shuts him up, and that sets up point number two. So point number two is basically the villain's headquarters. So the villains are basically watching this Bakugo is set free, and he has a mentality. He goes, look, at the end of the day, I don't care what you tell me, I'm going to be a hero. They value me, they're coming. There's investigation already ongoing to get through to where they are, and the villains Shigaraki realize, wait, we're running out of time. So ultimately, he's getting a bit desperate. So he's getting in contact with the All For One main villain character, and it looks like he's gonna look to take Bakugo's power, because even All For One's like, very nice decision. And obviously Bakugo this whole time wants to just take 2 or 3 down with him before he goes. So it's worrisome to see what they will do with it, because as far as I know, All For One's power is to, although give power, but it's also to take it, I'd imagine, because everything's for him. So it would really be a bad thing if Bakugo's power was taken from him, and they use that to turn him to, basically, come to us, we'll help you develop your power, you can keep your power and go from there. So my worry is, basically, they do that, but that's something we're going to have to wait and see. Let's get on to point number 3. So point number three is the kids are looking for the location and into a little shady area. And my worry with this one is, what if they run into Namu? He's a powerful being, and with Murari not necessarily fully healed up, he's not going to be the most effective in that situation, and they're not to fight. You kind of get this feeling that something bad is going to happen, and I'll explain later on in point number 4 about that. But they're in a position where my thought process is this: the attached, the tracker to Namu or Namu type characters, but the Namu type character isn't necessarily with the bad guys right now. So it's kind of weird how that works. So if he's not with the bad guys right now, he may be in some type of storage facility where they make him. So what if they're basically going to a storage facility full of Namus that in either fully being developed, being tested, or being kind of manipulated, and they walk into a trap? that's just my thought process. And interesting. What do you think about that? So that's point number 3, which sets up point number 4. So point number 4. Point number 4. We see the meetup of all the heroes. You get the top 4 that were there already. You get Gran Torino, some of the Pussycats. They mentioned Ragdoll going missing, and it's quite interesting to know that that they've got a lot of people there. The police are there, but you have to worry again. So they're talking about multiple locations, and the fact that Gran Torino's there and they mention All For One makes me worry that All For One is ready and waiting to take these heroes' powers. So imagine that they've got all these people and they're going to all these locations, and the location they end up in is a place where all their powers get taken from them by All For One. And with the power already given, All Might is given to Izuku Midoriya, my worry is that he dies, because it's kind of like the Naruto Jiraiya kind of thing, where then eventually he goes after him and he gets stronger and he becomes a person of great strength, value, dependability. You don't want that. It's too early for me to see All Might. I haven't even seen that much of All Might. I like the guy. I really don't want him to die. I don't want his power to be taken from him or anything like that. If anything, I want him to survive. But your worry is that with there be multiple locations, they might end up going to the wrong one, similar to how the students are going to one, and they might intersect and see this guy that's All For One. And bearing in mind he's got a lot of quirks that he's kind of garnered over time, is it possible that he takes some powers, or maybe by mistake he actually gives some powers? We'll have to wait and see. But that's all for me today, guys. Relatively simple chapter, some interesting points. The ball's rolling. You know, the cogs are in motion. We'll have to wait and see what happens. This will be posted hopefully tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. I'm making it now, just getting it out of the way. But for now, peace. And before I go, do not forget to please give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section below anything you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate that. I'm on 40 subscribers. I'd like to get to 50 before I get to 100, and then on from there. Goal to 1000. Let's keep it going.